It's time for the startup demo session. And to introduce this, I'd like to invite Stav Erez, managing partner of Teclub.
David, you're tall. Thank you, everyone. I'm Stav, managing partner at Teclub. We're an early stage fund that invests, among other sectors, in defense tech. Thank you so much for coming here and joining this really exciting pitch event. All of the companies presenting here today are part of the ecosystem of Mafat for startups. So just so we'll be on the same page, Mafat, the research and development arm of Israel's Ministry of Defense, serves as a vital bridge between the defense sector startups and venture capital. All the startups presenting today have already passed rigorous validation, demonstrating breakthrough technologies and really contributing to Israel security efforts. So I just want to thank you for that. And for the startups in the audience, I really encourage you to be part of this Mafat ecosystem. I personally have a couple of portfolio companies working with Mafat, and I highly recommend. For the investors, feel free to speak to the companies presenting and the startups in the audience, and for corporates and potential customers, sit tight, it's going to be interesting. So without further ado, I would like to invite Alon Joffe to the stage. He's the CEO of Eleos. Eleos is a AI-powered healthcare company that is focused on improving mental health services. Alon?
All right. Hi, everyone. So completely different than anything you heard about until now. We'll start with the video and then we'll talk.
There was a lot of secrecy and stigma. For many, many decades, behavioral health was something that people shut behind a closed door. Number one, in therapy school, they don't tell you the amount of paperwork that you need to do. Mental health, extremely bureaucratic. There's a tremendous amount of paperwork to do. Somewhere between 20 to 25 pieces.
Documentation is really important, but it's also really terrible, and people hate it.
This paperwork is important, if not more important, than our clients. That just don't make sense. We could be doing phenomenal clinical work, and yet all of that is working against us. You feel like you're not helping enough, and so that creates a little bit of burnout.
There are more folks leaving this industry than are coming into it.
Without access to mental health care and substance use treatment, often end up being served in emergency departments or hospitals. We have a wait list that just keeps coming. Most people that go into this field really come in out of a deep passion and mission.
I just want to be there and be helpful, but how are you supposed to have time for that when you're drowned in paperwork?
We're in a world now where augmented intelligence is becoming so sophisticated that they've taken that technology and they're applying it to this specific problem.
How do we care for those who need more while also not pushing our clinicians to the brink of their emotional needs?
I just want more time and energy on client care, not paperwork. What if it wasn't so tiring? What if it wasn't so exhausting to be a therapist? I believe I could do so much more.
All right. So imagine this is your patient. Every patient has their life story, medication, problems that they deal with. And this is just a single patient. At the course of a day, you will see probably 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And in the course of a week, that's 40 different patients with 40 different problems, with 40 different stories. And currently in behavioral health, in mental health, the best tool that you have at your disposal is the notebook, is this, right? And this is what we're solving for at Eleos. we are really here to free up providers to focus on what they do best and what they care about the most, which is providing care to their patients and to their communities. We've been doing this for the past kind of 4 or 5 years, really leading the charge of the gap between demand and supply in behavioral health. And we've been fortunate enough to really be the leaders and making an impact that I will explain more in a second. How are we actually solving this gap? By the way, just to put that in context, currently we have a shortage of 4.5 million behavioral health clinicians in the US, and obviously smaller but also staggering numbers in Israel. How do we do that? We take the one data point that really matters in behavioral health, which is the conversation, because in behavioral health, the conversation is the treatment. We run in the background of these conversations. We do not record them, but we analyze them. We summarize them automatically. We generate compliant and clinical documentation. We provide insights and decision support tools to clinicians, and we also make sure that's compliance. And that brings us to a world where clinicians can focus more time on care, 70% less time on documentation and on paperwork. We have done randomized control trials. We have published more than 10 peer-reviewed studies, including one in Nature, and we've seen that patients, consumers, that their clinicians are using Eleos, their symptoms are actually reducing 3 to 4 times faster. We see 50% less no-shows, which is a huge problem in behavioral health because people that need treatment don't often come to treatment, and that just changed the lives for clinicians. In the past 4 or 5 years, we've been fortunate to work with more than 150 different behavioral health organizations across the state, saving something ridiculous like 72 years of admin work. We're working with more than 8,000 clinicians. To put that in context, the 2 largest HMOs in Israel, that's just shy of 2,000 clinicians, okay? And analyzing more than 2 million sessions a year, supporting all the different use cases, and we're very fortunate and happy to also support Hebrew and Israel and our work with Mafat and the IDF to really tackle the immense challenge that we have right now in Israel in behavioral health during the war and post the war, both for people in active duty, both for veterans, and also for those who were injured. So like I say, we're bringing time back to clinicians. Of course, we do this with AI, right? That's how everyone do it. But really, I think unique technology, the largest data set in the world of real-world behavioral health sessions. And that's us in a nutshell. I want to just close by saying thank you to Nir and to the folks from Mafat who have been working with us in the past couple of months on bringing this to Israel. For us, it's why we started this company to begin with. So we're very, very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Alon. We would have loved to open this up for questions from all of you, but it's a bit impossible, so I'll be your voice. So Alon, this is a defense conference. Can you maybe just elaborate on the connection between healthcare and defense tech?
Yeah, so when the folks from Mafat asked me to come and speak at a defense tech conference, I said, why? What's the connection? So to me, it's more about national tech and about Israel tech more than anything else. Yes, we apply it with, the IDF and Mafat and bodies like this, but it's really, I think, also shows that defense tech, it's not only about ammunitions and drones and cyber and everything that people talked about. It's also about carrying the people that are carrying the mission, that are protecting us. To me, it's very logical in my head, and thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Our next speaker is David Yaish, CEO of Lingacom. Lingacom specializes in cosmic rays muons imaging technologies. Come on.
Hello to everybody. Lingacom product is an imaging solution for two market segments. One is underground imaging and for container inspection. We developed the technology over 10 years from today, and the technology is patented. We have 5 granted patents. The company has a product, and we are selling it for over 3 years, and we are profitable, and we have a positive cash flow. So what are the cosmic ray muons? So cosmic ray muons are natural high-energy particles that are which has the highest penetration on Earth. They can penetrate any material on Earth. Just for comparison to a high-energy X-ray, it's in average more than 1 times higher penetration and energy. In terms of our technology, we have sensors such as in different form factors, such as the borehole sensor for the underground and the flat sensor. In addition to the sensors, we provide a full solution that has 3D imaging. On the left side, you can see an underground imaging, 3D imaging, and on the right side, you can see container imaging.
Nowadays, worldwide civil construction companies are unable to map the underground soil layers before or after construction. Civilian construction, buildings, and infrastructures are exposed to huge engineering disasters due to complexities in pinpointing hazardous subterranean zones, such as underground cavities. Cavities could lead to construction failures that could also lead to huge economic loss to civil construction companies. Introducing Lingacom, the worldwide leader of muon detection in civil sectors. Lingacom is set to lead underground imaging with a market size of over $15 billion. For underground imaging, Lingacom created underground mapping systems using in-house pipe form factor muon sensors. Lingacom products provide breakthrough technology for underground mapping, a first-ever disruptive solution for civil engineering that supported construction companies to detect and locate underground cavities. The muon underground mapping system is proven at the field level. To map the underground soil layers, the muon mapping system is installed in simple and short processes in the field. The muon sensors are lowered into several boreholes. Using this unique technique, Lingacom's dedicated software and algorithms reconstruct a 3D image of the soil layers above it. The 3D imaging of the mapped area provides the location of the cavity and its dimensions. Using the 3D imaging indication for the location and dimensions of the hidden cavity, the civil construction team can avoid in advance the collapse of the construction. Lingacom's patented technology has been successfully implemented and deployed in civil areas for underground mapping and cavity detection. We welcome you to take part in a green, less intrusive, and more economical way to protect our civilians. Lingacom, view beyond the visible.
Okay, so the main strengths of the technology, as you have seen in the movie, are the 3 precise imaging of the underground soil layers, detection of variety of anomalies. It can be dense objects like rocks, foundations, or light objects like cavities, and it's robust. The muons penetrate any type of soil layers which has salt, water, rocks, etc. And it can penetrate tens of meters of underground. On the weakness side, it's relatively long exposure time. In terms of the market, we have the underground mapping for defense or civil engineering, which is the dual use. And on the inspection of containers, it's for defense and for seaports and border crossing. The use cases on the underground side is survey prior or after construction, monitoring foundations, and in the inspection of containers, it's mainly dedicated for inspection of dense containers. On the business side, we have product, we are profitable, cash flow positive, and we expect annual growth of 100% in the next coming years. Thank you.
Thanks, David. First of all, you said you're profitable, which is amazing. Kudos. So I have to ask as an investor, do you even fundraise? And if so, like, where do you plan to go from here and expand?
Yeah. At this moment, we are not looking for investment, but moving forward, we are definitely open for investment, especially in order to penetrate more the civil engineering market. Right now, we are generating most of our income from the defense sector, but the civil engineering is a huge market, and for that, we will need investment.
Thanks, David. Our next company is NextDeem. NextDeem is a dual-use company tackling hostile influence and financial crime. I welcome Netta. Joining us is Netta Marrom, CEO and founder. Netta served for 13 years as an army officer in special operations and held 2 executive vice president roles in banking.
Thank you. Thank you, Stav. So I've never spoken for 6 minutes, 2 minutes, or 10 minutes. I'll try. So some buzzwords: software, machine learning, counter-influence, dual use. NextDeem will develop a platform, software platform, deep technology that can crunch very large networks of interactions. We can see patterns in those very large networks meaning above hundreds of millions of nodes or entities and billions of interactions between them. This platform was taken to 2 business usages. One silo is in banking and finance, detecting financial crime, detecting terror financing. The other silo is counter-influence, detecting foreign and hostile influence systems. Our main commercial go-to-market, we have been established as a company that works with the civilian market, not the defense one. One part of the governmental contact was the FIUs, or the anti-money laundering authorities, but mainly our market was banks, payment institutions, blockchain service providers, crypto service providers, and also central banks, FIUs. We have moved towards the defense market, and we actually were identified actively by Mafat, by the DDR&D, and approached by the DDR&D. DDR&D thought that our technology is dual use, can have usages in both silos within the defense sector, and since this initial contact, we are working together very strongly with the Israeli and hopefully very soon with the foreign defense sector. In the financial domain, we can take the entire network of activity of payment or banking transactions of banks, payment companies, credit card companies, and also entire blockchains. Actually, the example that I'm going to show you for very quickly is going to be from the Tron blockchain. We can crunch those networks and surface insights of irregular activity between those networks. So this is the example. What you see here, hopefully I will be able to show the movie, but even if not, what you see here is money that is being sent from Iranian exchange, crypto exchange called Nobitex towards Binance, using some kind of, as you may see, layering or bouncing of transactions mechanisms. So on the left-hand side, you can see transactions that are not really needed to transfer the money. A lot of transactions are being created, thousands of them, that are not needed. And when this system is abandoned, there's another one that is being started with the same MO, same modus operandi, to create this layering and the hiding effect of the activity. So this insight was automatically surfaced by our platform while crunching the entire Tron blockchain. We have multiple like this, but this is a small example. So money from Nobitix IR through those two layering structures goes into Binance. Binance will never know the origin. It has to go by the bouncing path, thousands of transactions. Moving on to the counter-influence domain, we use the same systemic, algorithmical, and machine learning AI approaches to really surface systemic activity within the influence domain. Israel is at war. The war was extremely intensive on foreign influence. A lot is known and was written publicly. A lot is unknown and still is still secret. But couple of examples that I will quickly give you. First one, we've heard about the demonstration in the US universities in real time. Next team was able to share with the Ministry of Defense of Israel and other agencies that 44% of the activities are being induced by an Iranian state-run influence platform that we know from the past, was very active in the past, is active now, and the when and where of some of the events, or most of the events in US universities were made there. Another example is the major anti-Israeli activist within social networks. His name is Hinkle. If you've heard of him, anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli, extremely dangerous. You can see here more than 66 million interactions with him during the first months of the war. Was behind the Starlink for Gaza campaign that was started a week before the ground entry into Gaza, but he wasn't promoted by his own millions of followers. Sometimes he was promoted by what we identify as state-run platforms. This is one of them, a Mandarin-speaking, not necessarily Chinese, but a Mandarin-speaking platform that was active against Japan in August 23, and later on was promoting some of Jackson Hinkle tweets. This is an article in the New York Times discussing this subject and with some quotes that were given from us. So I think an interesting dual-use company, multiple usages, maybe to an extent something like a hardware company because the depth of the software and platform that we have developed, multi-usages, two business viable ones and two defense viable ones. Thank you.
Thanks, Netta. Can you maybe tell me how you see your you in relation to your competitors, your competitive advantages?
Yes, so we are a company that exists for over 4 years. I think it would be the answer to Stav's question would be technology, maturity of operational processes, and understanding of the market, and a lot of innovation that we have for the future. Very much matured, battle-proven technology was day-to-day, in a daily way, tested by agencies and states. And I think very strong technology and great people. We have two of them here in the crowd. Thank you.
Thank you, Netta. Our next speaker is Yonatan, CEO of Regulus. Regulus has developed a comprehensive military-grade counter-drone solution. Yonatan, join me.
So, hello everyone. Very happy to be here after a crazy year at Regulus. I'll be talking about Ring, which is our system, which is a next-generation counter-uncrewed system, detect and defeat system. It will be a bit superficial, I apologize, due to the medium here. First of all, as we all know, drones and uncrewed systems really dramatically change the face of war. We see it happening all the time. They're attacking from the air, from land, from sea, and they are cheap, available, practical, and deadly, and pretty hard to detect and defeat. Another thing that's happening is that really all those global conflicts with the proliferation of technologies, threats are evolving very fast, advancing rapidly, and this is putting some major challenges for the defense world. We see countermeasures that are failing to follow those fast advancements, and things that have been used for decades are really becoming useless quite fast. What Regulus is doing, I have to say with a bunch of other companies that have the same state of mind, is really bring what a startup can do to this usually slow to adapt defense world. We have the software first approach that has been discussed here, and we use, of course, AI to really launch solutions at a pace that was never available before. So the proven results of Ring really helped Regulus win the support of some of the most influential defense government bodies and defense integrators in the world. Naturally, we work with the DD&D here, and I have to say that everything they say about working with startups is true. I don't think it's possible for anyone in Israel to succeed in this world without the support of the DD&D, and for us, it's been really amazing. In the US, we're already working with the DoD, also in the G2G through IWTSD, if you know this office, and with the Marines. We have a partner in the US, Leonardo DRS, that you probably know. And in Israel, we work with all the big integrators that are present here. So Ring is fully combat proven. We have hundreds of operational systems, which really makes it one of the most versatilely deployed and successful counter-uncrewed systems in the world, I would say, after this year. Has very simple installation, integration, and operation, and has numerous tactical and strategic results in real war against unmanned threats, attacking not only from the air. A little bit about our product, again, very superficially. The first product we came out with was Ring 3. It's a GNSS spoofer, basically mimicking the GNSS signals very well and creating a very capable system. Added to that is the long-range capability of spoofing. That happened during 2023, fully operational, both of them. Ring 5 came during 2024, again, through this work with the DD&D and with the IDF. Learning the lessons during the war, we were able to already deploy the new system that is adding FPV mitigation, one of the biggest headaches in the world today. For next year, we'll see DART, which I will not talk much here, but it's going to close another loophole in the vast problem of uncrewed systems. Creating a system that, and this is, by the way, a DD&D name, all in R, could be all in Regulus or all in Ring, a very comprehensive system, and again, everything is supported by the DD&D. If we're looking at Ring or how we see the world, Regulus is focusing on point protection. This is what we think is the important thing. We don't believe in the notion of put something big somewhere, it will protect the battlefield. You have to protect yourself. We see that in the Ukraine, we see that in Israel. So this little system is very effective, both in detection, again, not going to go into all the layers, but it has detection, it has the spoofing and the jamming for the counter FPVs, and soon it will have the kinetic tower kill, everything around this 1 or 1.5 kilometer that we want to protect. Not going to discuss the long-range capabilities that we also have. Basically, all those Ring solutions coming together are closing most. You don't ever have the full capability to stop everything, but we are capable against most of the threats that are out there today, with Ring 5 adding FPV to the mix, and fixed-wing advanced drones we're capable against, and of course, another big headache, fiber optic drones. This is coming next year. Summarizing quickly, so Ring is compact, effective, simple to use, easy to integrate. It can work stationary or on the move. It's adaptable to any platform or location, ground, maritime, or aerial. The deployment can vary from a very simple standalone solution, even on the back of a soldier, as you see here, and up to very complex integrations with radars or with other long-range capabilities. Really unparalleled versatility, answering most of the counter-uncrewed needs in today's battlefield. Last slide, quickly. So really demonstrating high growth, hundreds of systems, combat-proven, penetration to over 15 countries, a robust product, a roadmap looking at most of the threats. AI, I have to say it, but it's there. A really strong team that is making this happening, and the market, I think we all understand it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yonatan. Can you share with us the achievements you're most proud of the company?
Yes, again, I can't go into the full details. I think that the most important thing to note is related to the summit here, is that this really shows that when war broke, we were 12 people. And with the support of the MOD and of DDR&D, I think that these 12 people were able to bring a really extraordinary value to Israel as a very small company, and I think this is something new. I mean, I don't think you could have done it in years before this, the way that things are working now.
Thank you, Yonatan.
Thanks.
Our next company is SenStation. CEO is Tsachi Mushkin. SenStation Technologies is developing a cellular passive radar system for detection of aerial targets and surface targets. Come on up. This is Tsachi.
I press to change. I press this. Okay. All right. Good morning. SenStation Technologies. My name is Tsachi Mushkin, and first of all, I thank you for having us this morning. The founders, the three of us, the only reason I'm putting up this slide is to brag about the fact that we have a combined experience in national security and defense technology of over 100 years. And our technology is patented. Passive radar, cellular passive radar, is radar, that's what we're developing, is radar that doesn't transmit at all. We simply use the natural reflections of cellular signals, ambient cellular signals that are out there anyway. And we can use this to detect and track non-cooperative and non-emitting targets of any kind. So as I mentioned, if you see a cellular antenna, part of this natural cellular infrastructure, transmits all the time, these radio waves hit targets, and they are naturally reflected from the targets and received by our passive antennas, put through our algorithms, and we thus detect and track targets. We can track low-flying aerial targets such as drones, UAVs, and aircraft, but we can also detect and track surface targets such as people, cars, animals, etc. As you can understand, there's a large plethora of applications, both aerial and ground, but we have decided to focus right now, our go-to-market focus is detecting and tracking drones and UAVs that are mostly non-emitting and non-cooperative. Of course, if they're emitting and cooperative, we'll detect them too. The points of emphasis are that we take advantage of the cellular system, but we don't interfere with the cellular system. We don't touch it. We don't need cooperation from the cellular system. And we definitely don't access the transmitted data. So there's no privacy issues here. As I mentioned, we do not rely on any emissions or transmissions from the targets. From a defense point of view, we're stealthy. From a civilian point of view, we're environmentally friendly and green, and we can be deployed anywhere in inhabited areas, urban areas, or anywhere. And that's where I want to come and say, this has been mentioned before, we are truly dual use. Without changing anything in our system, you can be used for defense and HLS applications and used for civilian transportation and so forth. We can be deployed anywhere. You can put our system on a cellular antenna or far away from a cellular antenna. It doesn't matter, the system will work. And the track and detection plots can be sent to any data fusion system, any third-party command and control system, or even to your mobile devices. Whether you want to deploy one or a multitude of our systems, they will all transmit the tracks and detections to any system that you want to integrate them into. And it's very flexible, and you can have them deployed permanently or temporarily. So just to cap initially, we're stealthy, we're environmentally friendly, enormous operational flexibility. You can put us, because we're absolutely passive, you can put us in urban areas, and otherwise you can use as a standalone or integrated into third party. We will cover an area day and night, all weather, 24/7. Here's an example of the cellular infrastructure in the Tel Aviv area. On the left and on the right, the green area would be our coverage of the Tel Aviv area using the existing cellular infrastructure without making any changes to it. Currently, we have a proof of concept, a POC, which, as you can see, uses a PC and purchased hardware. That's the strength of our algorithms, that we don't need special hardware. We're using commercial off the shelf. It's been used in well over 100 field tests, and we have successfully detected and tracked drones. Here you can see those detections, and on the right you can actually see that we detected a drone in blue and cars on the ground. So with the same system, we detect aerial and ground systems. To speak about the dual use, so in defense and HLS, I'm not going to read all the applications here, but you can see there are many applications, and in the civilian market, I'm not going to read all of them, but you can see there are a very large number of applications here too. The market. One of the things that we really, really dream about is connecting with cellular companies, because when you think about it, they have infrastructure and they're selling data and phone calls, but with our system, they can regenerate revenue on the same infrastructure they're using today to sell to commercial access to target detection, so on and so forth. Again, a long list of customers that are potential. We currently have a strategic partnership with the main Israeli company. This eye chart just intends to show that there is an enormous amount of sales possibility in many verticals. We are seeking funding to actually get to the next stage, which is product and revenue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tsachi. You actually spoke about the dual use, and you ran really briefly on the civil applications. Right. Can you maybe just elaborate on this?
Sure. Happily. Thank you for the question. Look, on the civil side, as drones and UAVs become more prolific in our civilian life, and as you all know, it's an exponentially growing market, they're going to need our kind of detection. So for us, the civilian market, cellular companies, UTM, is an enormous, enormous revenue opportunity, and we really look forward to being in that market. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Tsachi. Thank you. Our next speaker is Itamar Ben-Tovim, the CEO of Spear UAV. Spear UAV, can you hear me? Okay. Spear UAV delivers encapsulated solutions designed to empower tactical maneuvering forces. Itamar, come on up.
A small correction, Stav. I'm still not the CEO. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer at Spear, but thank you for promoting me. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I would like to start, first of all, of saying thank you very much for the Defense Tech community for hosting us here today. My name is Itamar Ben-Tovim, and I'm the company Chief Business Development Officer for the past 7.5 years already. Proud to be one of the founding team of this company in the heart of the Israeli defense industry. Also important fun fact for Spear. since day one of founding this company, I think we are working hand in hand in collaboration with IMOD, specifically with the DDR&D, Mafat, to prove our concept, to evaluate our system, to provide our solution both for the domestic customer here in Israel and of course also assisting with global business as well, with customer and partners. So this is one of the most important core assets that we possess here in Sphere. So this is also very important. And Sphere in a nutshell, we are a system house that's specializing in encapsulated and smart loitering munition capabilities. So today we're going to talk about capsules and loitering munition and startups. And we are going to describe in the next couple of minutes about our Viper family of loitering munition and how we are providing an independent and private air force, both for the soldier on the ground, special forces units, small tactical echelons, and even combat platform, ground combat platform vehicles such as an MBT, an IFV, or a UGV, or a 4x4 wheeler using our multi-canister launcher. This is on the ground domain. And in other aspects, how we are providing a new dimension, a new aerial dimension to a strategic platform such as a submarine as well. So before drilling down to the presentation, here with me is the Viper 300, the capsule and encapsulated loitering munition inside. This is our single canister launcher configuration for the ground soldier. When the soldier wants to use it in the field, when he wants to engage a target or he needs an immediate situational awareness, he takes it out of his backpack, placing it on the ground, and sorry for remoting with the mic. Placing the launcher on the ground. Opening the operating system. Getting back to the mic. No, it's okay, okay. We're good, yeah. Push a button, and this is his immediate eye in the sky that is going to be eventually his loitering munition capability in a single canister launcher or in a multi-canister launcher if he's operating from within the vehicle. So cross-platform for all of our Viper family, all of them are comprised from gimbalized both day and night cameras or seekers. We're using, of course, encrypted communication devices, immune for EW warfare, onboard AI capabilities, and buzzword, David, you said earlier about buzzword on how we're enabling our AI to provide the operator to use a very simple and intuitive weapon system. We'll discuss about it in a minute. And in the back, that's the explosive. Specifically for the Viper 300, we're talking about up to 300 grams of insensitive munition designed to hit precisely anti-personnel, soft-skin vehicles, pickups, or anti-material targets. And that's the encapsulated solution. All of our solutions are based on the quad-based loitering munition. And let's jump and see how we are dealing with our CONOPS mostly in the ground domain. So the operator, in this case, special unit guy, take his capsule out of his bag, push a button, and you have an immediate eye in the sky. This is the loitering munition, and this is his independence in the battlefield. He push on his video screen to choose what target he wants to engage using the ATR capabilities to assist him to get the right decision, and then he's intercepting or engaging the target specifically at the place that he wants to hit, both on static position or in a dynamic position. We don't only use one bird for one target. You can launch and deploy multiple birds to multiple targets. One could be the observer, one could be the attacker. And after the attack, the other bird can recommit or go back home or can initiate another Viper to engage the target. But the whole idea of using the multi-canister launcher and integrate it to a ground combat platform such as the UGV. And we are the first ever to enable a multiple launch of UAVs to conduct mesh configuration mission or point-to-multipoint mission. And as you can see, these are some of our field tests together with our local partner here in Israel. looks very familiar. Actually, this footage has been taken, I think, 2 weeks before the October occasion, and how relevant it might be. So, cross platforms, we are scaling up and scaling down the same core assets of encapsulation, using the same operating system. All of our solutions, the loitering munition, are being launched or from a single canister launcher or a multi-canister launcher from the same 4-inch diameter tube. We will talk about commonality in a second. The Viper 750 can carry up to an additional, not 300 grams like the Viper 300, but can carry up to an additional 1 kilo of explosive. Now is the time to talk later about the armor piercing and anti-armor capability. But eventually, all of them uses the same core assets. But I think that the most, achievement regarding the Viper, I'm done, regarding the Viper 750 is not necessarily the loitering munition capability, it's the ISR. This is an example on how we are at Spear, first ever company who deployed a rotary wing solution from an underwater platform. And this is how it's being done. I will show just the first part and then I'm done. Promise. So this is our sealed capsule that is being deployed from underwater. The capsule raises up to the surface. The operator from within the submarine is waiting for the right moment, and then, for the first time, he's gotten an aerial perspective to conduct any kind of mission. Could be ISR or different type of missions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Itamar. We'll pass the question as you already answered.
Yeah, okay.
Last but not least, please welcome Irad Kuhnreich from Xmetix. Xmetix develops medical technologies for emergency care, including a smart turquoise, to improve survival rates in battlefield and civilian settings. Thank you, Irad.
איך מעבירים? Good morning. I'm Irad, the CTO and the co-founder of Xmetix, a company that is basically aiming, elevating the survivability of soldiers in the battlefield. Before I get started to explain the need of the personal automatic tourniquet, let's go for a second to what is called the mass casualty event. Imagine an explosion in a crowded area. Multiple people are injured in the same time. The responders need to give help to those bleeding people, right? Stress is enormous and time is running out. Every second counts. It's not just saving lives. It's also preventing the onset of a shock, which makes everything worse. Imagine needed to give, you are the responder, and you need to treat those people simultaneously. Today, what responders get is this manual tourniquet, but they also need a fat marker and a watch to be successful. Does this look advanced to you? This is risky, this is slow, and it's full with mistakes. It doesn't fit the stress and the chaos of this environment. For this reason, under the supervision and acceleration of Mafat, and together with the Israeli Medical Corps, we have developed the first personal automatic tourniquet. This device, in the last year, went through the most rigorous testing one can imagine, both clinical and usability. And I can tell you that we have beaten the manual device in every single parameter, achieving 100 success rate. Let me show you what it's all about. This device, right? You just need to take the safety pin out and press the button, and that's all. It's the most intuitive button you can imagine. You put it on the leg, you take the pin, you press the button, and that's it. 5 seconds. Then your hands are free. You can protect yourself. You can treat the other person. You can move to the next task you have in this stressful situation. It's automatic. It maintains the pressure over 6 hours based on the smart algorithm it is running. It is recording the time automatically. We have learned that when people forget to record the time, the consequences in the ER and for the doctors giving the treatment are terrible. Not recording the time in a tourniquet makes everything worse. And most importantly, it's robust and it can withstand all the different environments tourniquets need to work in. Ladies and gentlemen, it is true. The best is to prevent injury by intelligence, by protection. But we also need to realize that in the battlefield and in the chaos, injury happens. And it is most predominantly in the limbs. 60% of battlefield injuries are in the limbs because they have huge surface area and basically no protection. And this is why we need to give precision, speed to the people that give the first aid. And this could be achieved only with automation. 5 years from now, you are going to see this device on your flight, in your kid's school, in the first aid kit, in the new car that you are going to buy, because this is not just a tool. This is a new standard in first aid. Our prime market is the school and campus emergency preparedness. This market is a $3 billion market, the emergency in school and campuses. It is growing 13%. I haven't heard double-digit growth for a long time. And this reflects the need for innovation and new solutions. I want to thank all the people in Mafat and the Israeli Medical Corps for the huge help they've given us. Thank you very much. Am Yisrael Chai.
Thank you, Irad. Super impressive. I was wondering, what is your go-to-market strategy abroad? So how are you going to penetrate the markets, international markets?
As I told you, we bring huge value to the civilian, and we have learned that there are quite few companies that are doing the training for the first responder in the US, and we are working with them to penetrate into the first responder markets. Thank you.
That's a wrap. Thank you, everyone. Next session.